Hey, guys, this is Time Breaker Scion here, and welcome to my channel today. I am doing What If Deku Had Venom? The like goal for this video is 10 likes, enjoy. Chapter 1, What are you? Izuku Midoriya, 4 years old, son of Inko and Hisashi Midoriya. Today was the day he was hoping for today he was going to find out what kind of quirk he had. Come on, Mom, he said as he grabbed his mother's hand. Inko smiled, easy there, Izuku, the doctors are still going to be there. However, Izuku couldn't wait, all of his friends were already getting their quirks, and now it was his turn. With his All Might figure in his hands, Izuku arrived at the doctor's office, some X-rays later. Inko and Izuku were now waiting for the doctor. So what kind of quirk do you think I'll get? Questioned Izuku. I hope you get one like mine, you can be an amazing hero with it, said Inko. Izuku gleamed as he pondered what kind of quirk he would get. That's when the doctor walked in with a file, taking a seat across from the boy, and he sighed. Inko began to worry, Doctor, is everything alright? Well, I don't know how to say this, but sorry, kid, you can't be a hero. Izuku's eyes widened as he dropped his All Might toy. Inko was just as surprised, what? Doctor, that is impossible, both my husband and I have quirks. This has to be a mistake. The doctor reached into the file and pulled out X-ray images, putting them up in the light. Inko saw the image of Izuku's foot. See this here, he only has one pinky joint, whereas people who develop quirks have two. This is a clear sign that he won't develop a quirk. Sorry, kid, but you can't be a hero. The car ride back to Izuku's apartment was long and quiet, opening the door. Izuku said nothing as he walked over to the computer and played videos of All Might rescuing people. Izuku? With tears in his eyes, Izuku turned to his mother, Mom, can I become a hero without a quirk? Now, Inko had tears coming down her face. Izuku, running over to him, Inko hugged her son tightly. I'm so sorry, Izuku, I'm so sorry. 10 years later, now 14 years old, Izuku had already accepted the fact that he couldn't become a hero. Instead, he turned his attention to helping them. In those 10 years, Izuku began to take notes and design support items that could help future heroes. He was even aiming for UA, just not the hero course, he was aiming for the support department. But even then, he still had to put up with bullying. Izuku was in class, drawing in his notebook. The class was loud and excited. Alright, everyone, calm down, I know you are all excited for the break, but class is not over yet, said their teacher. Now you should all start thinking about what high school you want to attend. I know you all have strong quirks and you all want to be heroes, but think realistically. That's when a blonde-haired boy with red eyes scoffed, don't lump me in with these losers, I'm way better. This was Bakugo Katsuki. Right, Bakugo, you are trying to get into UA, right? Asked the teacher. That's right, so don't compare me to them. I'm going to be the best damn hero out there, said Bakugo, his voice full of pride. Wait, Midoriya, you are trying to get into UA too, right? For the support department, right? Bakugo turned to Midoriya with rage in his eyes. Yeah, I think since I don't have a quirk, I can still get in with my brain, explained Izuku. What was that? Yelled out Bakugo. I thought I told you before that I'm going to be the only one to get into UA. Izuku raised an eyebrow, why would I care what you want? You're trying to get into the hero course, I'm trying to get into the support course. I don't see why that's such a big deal. Why you? Bakugo was about to walk over to Izuku when the teacher stopped him. That's enough, Bakugo, sit down or I'll keep you after school. Bakugo relented and sat back down. Good, now as most of you know, we have our field trip to YTC tomorrow. I expect everyone to be on their best behavior. It was now the end of class, and Izuku was getting ready to leave when Bakugo slammed his hand down on Izuku's desk. Hey Deku, stay and have a chat with me. Izuku looked up to see Bakugo. I'm good. Getting up to leave, Izuku was suddenly grabbed by Bakugo, I wasn't asking. Shoving Izuku back into his seat, Bakugo looked down at him. What the F***ck are you doing, Deku? What are you talking about? Asked Izuku. I mean UA, I'm the only one in this worthless school that's getting into UA. I don't care if it is the support department, you will not take that UA exam. Got it, said Bakugo as he burned part of Izuku's shoulder. Izuku flinched in pain but eventually slapped his hand away. Listen, Bakugo, I don't know what your problem is, but I've just about had it with your bullying. If you are going to do something, then do it. I'm right here. You know what? Izuku then grabbed Bakugo by the arm and forced him to place his palm on Izuku's forehead. You either do it now, or you get the F***ck out of my face. Bakugo's eyes widened. After a few seconds he pulled his arm back. Screw you, Deku, if you show up to the exam I'll kick your ass. You don't even have a quirk, so do yourself a favor and throw yourself off the roof and hope you get a quirk in the next life. Turning around, Bakugo noticed Izuku's notebook and proceeded to throw it out of the window. Izuku watched as Bakugo walked away, breathing a sigh of relief. Izuku grabbed his stuff and went out to look for his notebook. After a while, he found it in a puddle of water. Grabbing it, he noticed the pages were messed up. Damn it, why can't he just leave me alone? I never did anything to him, so why does he hate me? Izuku yelled out. Defeated, Izuku walked home and took the long way home, which meant going down an alley. Little did he know danger lurked just above him. Yes, this one will do just fine, said a sludge villain. Man, my notebook is ruined, I'm going to have to copy all the notes down again. Stupid Bakugo, even if I don't have a quirk, I could still be a hero if I wanted to. Maybe I should go for the hero course, which will show him. I might not get in, but I can at least try, there's always hope, said Izuku. Behind him, the sludge villain oozed his way down the wall, and without warning, the villain wrapped himself around Izuku's body. Izuku tried to yell out for help, but couldn't. Shoo, relax, kid, the more you struggle, the more it hurts. So sit back and let me take that body. Izuku tried to fight back, but all his efforts were in vain. Am I dying? Damn, I thought I was going to live longer. Mom, I'm so sorry. Just as the villain was about to take over Izuku's body, a loud voice was heard, fear not, my young friend, for I am here. Texas Smash. With a single punch, the sludge villain was blown off of Izuku, hitting the floor. Izuku began to cough out green slime. Are you alright? Izuku looked up to see All Might, the number one hero, a tall, muscular man with yellow hair and full of muscle. Hey All Might. The number one hero laughed, the one and only, so I take it you're a fan? Here, let me sign that notebook of yours. Before Izuku could react, All Might grabbed his notebook and signed his name across 2 entire pages. Here. Izuku couldn't believe it. Thank you so much. Anytime, now I should get this villain to the police station, said All Might as he held up a bottle with the villain inside. Goodbye. All Might crouched down, but just as he jumped, Izuku launched onto his leg. Wait, I have a question. But it was too late, All Might had already jumped into the air. Now in the air, the hero noticed Izuku attached to his leg. What are you doing, kid? This is very dangerous. Let go. If I let go, I'll die, yelled out Izuku. I guess you're right. Hold on, kid. I'll get you down. Landing on a nearby building, Izuku flopped on the roof. That was reckless, kid. Now I have to go. Wait, all I want is an answer to my question. All Might stopped. I just want to know, can someone quirkless become a hero? Izuku closed his eyes and awaited an answer. No, they can't. Izuku's eyes widened. You need to be strong to be a hero. Without power, you are bound to get hurt. I would suggest being a police officer, not as glamorous, but just as heroic. Anyway, kid, I've got to go later. With that, Izuku was left on the roof thinking about what All Might just said. That was the last of my hope. Whatever, I'm done dreaming about being a hero. If All Might thinks I can't, then I guess it is impossible. Dejected and depressed, Izuku made his way home. There was an accident, but Izuku ignored it. The next day, Izuku found out that Bakugo had been attacked by the same sludge villain. It somehow got away from All Might and almost attached itself to Bakugo. Lucky for him, All Might was around to save him. Izuku, along with the rest of his class, was now on a bus heading to YTC headquarters. YTC was known as Japan's top weapons and research company. Their most recent adventure took them into space, where they retrieved a part of an asteroid back with them. After a 2-hour drive, the class finally arrived at the building, and boy was it massive. 60 floors purely dedicated to research and development. This building alone could give I-Island a run for its money. The tour began with the founder of the company, Kenshin Yaoyorozu. He greeted the students, "Welcome, everyone, to my wonderful building, or as I like to call it, the gateway to the future. Please feel free to look around, I guarantee that you will find something interesting. Well, I have a meeting to get to, so I must go." With that, Kenshin bowed and went back into his office, escorted by 2 of his guards. "Well then, shall we get the tour started?" asked the guide. The class then began to walk towards the second floor. However, as Izuku was walking, he looked up to see a fairly tall girl around his age with black hair staring down at them. "Whoa, she's pretty." Izuku blinked, and when he opened his eyes, she was gone. I wonder who she was. Floor by floor, the class was shown what YTC was working on. It ranged from military to civilian. It was now lunchtime, and the class was led to the cafeteria where they would eat. Izuku sat alone looking around at the cafeteria, and after 30 minutes, they were just about ready to keep going. However, Izuku wanted to wash his hands first. Finding the restroom, he did what he wanted to do and walked out. Only to see that his class was already gone. Oh, come on. Now panicking, Izuku thought back to what the guide said. If I remember correctly, they should be heading down to the 17th floor. Walking over to the elevator, Izuku walked in, and just as he was about to press the button, the doors shut. What? Without warning, the elevator suddenly began to go down, but surprisingly, it went past the lobby. It finally stopped at level Z. The doors opened, and what Izuku saw surprised him. The floor was full of what seemed to be containment chambers. Walking out of the elevator, Izuku began to look around. Looking inside the containment chambers, he saw what looked like people, but they weren't moving. Going deeper into the level, he came upon a small glass container that was in the back of the room. The container had something inside it, something black and gooey looking. "Whoa, what is that?" questioned Izuku. Placing his hand on the container, the goo began to move and form the shape of Izuku's hand. "It feels like it's calling to me, it wants to be free, it needs to be free." Grabbing the container, Izuku lifted it and threw it to the ground, breaking the container. That's when the alarm started to blare out. Izuku looked around, panicked. "What did I just do?" he questioned as he frantically looked around. That's when the goo began to move, slowly at first, but it suddenly jumped onto Izuku without him noticing it. "I need to get out of here." Running towards the elevator, Izuku began to press the buttons, hoping that one would take him to the lobby. "Come on, move. We need to find and contain it," yelled out a man wearing tactical gear and brandishing a rifle. That is when several armed men began to appear and search the floor. Izuku's eyes widened. Come on, come on. Finally, after what felt like forever, the doors shut, and up Izuku went. The elevator dinged as Izuku arrived at the lobby. As luck would have it, his class was also there, being ushered out of the building. Sneaking into the crowd, Izuku managed to get out without getting caught. As the class stood outside, Izuku once again saw the girl with raven black hair. She looks worried, I wonder why? Unfortunately, the class trip was cut short due to a gas leak. On the bright side, Izuku got to go home early. After explaining what happened on the trip, Izuku went to lie down in his bed. For some reason, he was really tired. Izuku was sound asleep when he heard someone call out to him, "Izuku Midoriya." Snapping his eyes open, Izuku looked around and noticed it was already nighttime. "Yeah, Mom," he yelled out, no response. Getting up from the bed, Izuku walked into the kitchen where Inko was making dinner. "You called Mom?" Inko turned around. "Oh, Izuku, you're up, and no, I didn't call you. I was going to go in a few minutes when dinner was ready." Izuku was confused, he was sure someone had called out his name. "Oh, okay, I'll just be in my room finishing some homework." Going back to his room, Izuku began to do his homework when again someone called out to him, "Izuku Midoriya." Turning around, Izuku saw that no one else was in his room. Who was that? Izuku Midoriya. Getting up from his chair, Izuku looked around the room, inside his closet, underneath his bed, but still couldn't find who was calling out to him. "Hello? Is anyone there?" "Izuku. Dinner is ready," yelled out Inko. Izuku jumped at the sound of his mother. "Man, I must be really tired. I should just eat and head to bed." Walking out of his room, Izuku went to eat. His mother had made his favorite katsudon. Normally, Izuku would only have a single bowl, but for some reason, this time he had 4, and even then, he was still hungry. Izuku then walked into his room and immediately felt lightheaded. He began to sweat profusely and felt his heart start beating out of his chest. What's going on?" he questioned as he staggered towards his bed. His vision blurred, his coordination faltered, and Izuku tried to walk straight but couldn't put one foot in front of the other. With each step, he grabbed onto the drawer, knocking everything down from it. Somehow making it to his bed, Izuku lay there on his stomach. "What's happening to me?" He tried to call out for help, but the words couldn't manifest. Closing his eyes, Izuku passed out. After a few hours, something began to call out to him, "Wake up, Izuku Midoriya. Wake up." Snapping his eyes open, Izuku noticed the city lights. "Huh? What? Where am I?" Looking around, Izuku was surprised to see that he was atop a building overlooking the city. "What the hell? How did I get up here?" "Quiet down, will you? You are way too loud," yelled someone inside Izuku's mind. Izuku turned around. "That voice, who are you? Show yourself." Just then, black ooze appeared from behind Izuku. No, rather, it appeared from Izuku himself. Whatever it was, it looked like goo, almost like a liquid, but it held its shape. It then began to manifest a face, with razor-sharp teeth and pure white, long, thin eyes. "Izuku Midoriya, I am Venom." Izuku fell back onto his butt in fear. What are you?" The face then smiled, revealing its freakishly long tongue. "Think back, Izuku, where do you think I came from?" Izuku's eyes then widened as he remembered, "Be back at YTC headquarters. You're that black blob I found, the one I set free." "Precisely, and I couldn't be more thankful, but you are mistaken. You did not find us, we called out for you, and you came. We are meant for each other, we are meant to complete our mission," explained Venom. What mission?" asked Izuku. "To conquer this world. And for that, we need to be bonded to someone," said Venom. "Conquer the world? But why?" "Why me?" asked Izuku. "Because you are the perfect host. Most of this world's inhabitants have what you call quirks. It is very difficult to be bound to someone with such abilities, but you have no quirk." Izuku's eyes widened. "And no. I don't want this, I don't want you." Izuku then tried to pull at Venom, but his efforts were in vain. "I cannot be separated from you, Izuku. We are now bonded. We are now Venom." That's when Venom pulled itself back into Izuku and began to spread. First it was his back, then his arms, legs, and then his face. Izuku could feel every inch of his body was covered in the goo, in venom. With his razor-sharp claws now fully formed, Venom let out a roar that echoed throughout the night. "This world is vast, and its people are strong. I need to scout things out before I make my move," said Venom as he jumped from the building and crashed down onto the street below. The people screamed out in terror as they saw Venom rise out of the crater. "They all have power, but choose not to fight me? Are they weak?" Just then, the cops began to show up. "Freeze! Don't move or we'll shoot," one officer yelled out as they drew their guns. "What are those weapons?" asked Venom as he walked towards the officers. Seeing this, one of the officers yelled out, "Fire!" That's when all the officers at the scene began to open fire at Venom. But to their surprise, Venom was not going down. The bullets were being absorbed into the black ooze. After emptying their guns, the officers stood stunned. What kind of quirk is that?" Venom then smiled, brandishing its teeth. "My turn." Jumping at one of the vehicles, Venom kicked it with so much force that it skid across the street and crashed into a building, breaking the wall. That's when Venom charged into the officers, grabbed one of them by the face, and threw them around like ragdolls. Bodies and bullets flew over their heads as people tried to run for their lives. One by one the officers fell unable to do anything. One officer got into his car and radioed for help. "Code 4, we have a villain attacking us. Any heroes in the area hearing this, please respond." But before the officer could say anything else, Venom threw his massive fist through the windshield of the car, pulling the officer out. Venom threw him into a building. One officer watched it happen, but as he turned back, Venom appeared in front of him and grabbed him by the neck. "You smell quite tasty, human. So many organs, I wonder which one tastes the best. Let's find out, shall we?" Opening its mouth, Venom was about to bite the head right off the officer, when all of a sudden, something wrapped around the cop's waist and pulled him away. "Sorry, but you won't be eating anyone today," said a man wearing goggles and a weird-looking scarf. You must be what the boy calls a hero. One of several in this world," said Venom. "That's right, and I'm here to stop you." The man then threw his scarf at a light pole and used it to swing towards Venom. Venom tried to use its claws, but the man threw his scarf again and used it to dodge. Using the momentum, the man kneed Venom in the nose. "Nice hit, but I hit harder." Pulling back its fist, Venom reshaped its hand into an anvil. The man's eyes widened as the black anvil hit him in the chest, sending him flying towards a nearby car. Dazed, the man grabbed at his head and felt blood running down. He tried to get up, but that's when Venom appeared in front of him. "You fought hard, hero, but in the end, you were no match for me. Now I'll enjoy eating you." Using his massive arm, Venom picked up the hero. Venom was about to bite into the man when, all of a sudden, he dropped him. The man was confused. "No, stop, what are you doing? How do you have control? This should be impossible." Staggering back in pain, Venom could feel Izuku fighting back inside his mind. "You want me? Then you'll have to fight me for use of my own body," yelled out Izuku. Venom screeching out as part of his face became undone. The hero watched as a green eye looked at him. There's someone in there? Hold on, I'll get you out." Getting up, the man activated his quirk, which was the power to erase the quirks of others temporarily. For he was known as the pro-hero Eraserhead. However, Eraserhead was surprised to see that it wasn't working. "My quirk has no effect? That's impossible." Venom then fell to his knees. "Fine. If you won't listen to me, then I'll just force you to." Regaining some control, Venom turned and jumped into the air. Once there, he looked at his arm. That man was onto something. Maybe I should give it a go. That's when sharp tentacle spikes began to appear from Venom's body and jab into the building. Using his strength, Venom began to climb up the sides, making it to the roof. Venom jumped. As he was in mid-air, Venom copied Eraserhead's capture weapon and used it to swing from building to building. After swinging for a good while, Venom landed on the roof of a tall building and went back into Izuku's body. Izuku was now on the roof, sweating and shaking. "Why did you stop me from killing the hero?" questioned Venom. "Are you crazy? That was a hero, they only help people, explained Izuku. If that's true, then why do you hate one in particular? Izuku's eyes went wide. How did you know? Asked Izuku. We told you, did we not? I am inside you, Izuku, I know everything, every thought, every memory, and every experience, there's nothing I don't already know about you. Said Venom. You're wrong. I don't hate him, yelled out Izuku. Oh, but you do. You trusted the hero called All Might and idolized him. Yet when you just wanted a bit of hope, he broke you. Izuku gritted his teeth. Shut up. He saw what everyone else around you sees, a useless piece of flesh. A Deku. I said shut up. I am not useless, yelled out Izuku. By yourself, you are. But with me, you have purpose. I can give you what you need. Power. Izuku thought about it, by taking over the world? No, I won't let that happen, I'll fight you to the very end if I have to. Then why don't we come to an agreement? Izuku raised an eyebrow. An agreement? I need to accomplish my goals, but I can't do that if I have to fight you every time for control. Couldn't you just ditch me for someone else? Asked Izuku. Normally, I would, but our compatibility is far too great to leave now. So if we cooperate, then our chances of survival increase vastly. Izuku was confused. Our chances? What do you mean? We just attacked a police officer and a hero, Izuku. We are most likely going to be wanted fugitives. Izuku's eyes widened. You son of a. This was your plan all along, wasn't it? But if I turn myself in now and explain the situation, they might understand. Do you honestly believe that? Even if they do believe you, there is still the matter of YTC, they will come for you. Face it, Izuku, without me, you wouldn't last a week, explained Venom. Work with me, and you might make it through this all. Taking a deep breath, Izuku composed himself. A symbiotic relationship, fine, but we are doing this my way. You want to fight crime, don't you? Questioned Venom. Izuku smiled. You are inside my head. That's right, we'll become a vigilante and help people when we can. Will I get to eat people? Izuku hummed, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So what do you say? Venom was silent for a second before answering. Very well, I agree. Let's become Venom. The symbiote once again covered Izuku's body. Although I am starving. What exactly do you eat? Asked Izuku. I do not know, but if I don't start eating soon. Your organs are starting to look tasty, said Venom as he jumped to the roof of another building. Alright, we'll drop by the convenience store and buy something, said Izuku. Just don't eat my organs, I need those. Chapter 2, Symbiotic Relationship. Down at the police station, Aizawa walked down its hall with a worried look on his face. It had been a whole 2 weeks since his encounter with the villain. Making it to a conference room, he saw that other heroes were already there. Ah, good, you're here. Now that everyone is accounted for, let's get started, said a small, white bear/mouse-looking animal. Naomesa, if you will. That's when a tall man wearing a trench coat and hat stood up. Thanks, so let's talk about the events of 2 weeks ago. At 12:34, a mysterious creature appeared and attacked some police officers. At 12:37, the pro-hero Eraserhead arrived on the scene and engaged the villain. However, despite his best efforts, he was overpowered. According to Eraserhead, the villain was about to bite his head off, but stopped suddenly. That's when Eraserhead noticed someone inside. He used his quirk to erase the villain's quirk, but it didn't work. Is that even possible? Asked a woman with a red mask and long, dark purple hair. Normally, no, even if this person had a mutant-type quirk, should have slowed them down, explained Eraserhead. You should have seen it, Midnight, this guy was dangerous. I agree, we all saw the video. If we don't catch this person soon, I can only imagine what they would do, said Nizu. But that's not all, I may have only seen their eye, but there was fear in it, said Eraserhead. So this guy doesn't have control of himself, is that it? Asked a man with speakers around his neck. That's a possibility, and you didn't see anything else? Questioned Naomasa. Eraserhead shook his head. The black suit the guy was wearing was completely covering him. Nizu nodded. I see, there is also the matter of this guy's power. In all my years, I've never seen anything like that. It seemed as if the guy could reshape his body into whatever he wanted. This seems like the villain you caught the other day, isn't that right, All Might? Everyone turned to All Might, the number one hero. That's true, but that villain is already locked up. With the video I saw, this one seems to be a lot stronger too, explained All Might. So what do we do from here? There haven't been any sightings of this villain for 2 weeks. He's obviously waiting till we let our guard down, said Midnight. All we can do is wait. In the meantime, I want to ask you all to stay vigilant. If this villain shows up again, do not fight him alone. Fight in pairs, and if you need to, retreat, instructed Nizu. Everyone nodded. So that's about it, we'll call you if this villain shows up again. I'm sure you're all quite busy with the whole U entrance exam just around the corner, said Naomasa. In a few short weeks, the exam is set to start. I can't wait to see what type of quirks we see this year. We are set to have the most applications to the hero course in years, said Nizu with a smile. That's great, now if you'll excuse me, I have to fill out some paperwork. With that, Naomasa left the conference room. Eraserhead let out a sigh. I hate meetings like these. Don't be such a downer, Aizawa, we all know you're still shaken up after almost having your head bitten off, said Present Mike. It wouldn't be the first time I was at death's door, and it won't be the last, said Aizawa, slightly annoyed. Yeah, but never by threat of being bitten, said Midnight. Yeah, next time we meet it won't end up the same way, said Aizawa, getting up from his seat. We have to find this guy soon. If he threw me around, he really is dangerous. There's no telling what he's doing right now. Beach. Izuku was not having a good time. First off, he was surrounded by trash, literal trash. Second, he just ran an entire 10 miles down the shoreline. Now out of breath and sweating, Izuku threw himself atop a broken fridge. Tell me again, why am I doing this? That's when Venom's face appeared in front of Izuku. Because you are weak. Our bond may be strong, but your body is weak. We need to change that to get better results. So the stronger I become, the stronger you become? Asked Izuku. Precisely, that's enough of a break, time to start lifting weights. Push that sofa, it will help build muscle. That's something you severely lack. That's coming from a blob of black goo. Getting back up, Izuku began to push the sofa through the sand. Straining himself as he pushed it, Izuku finally made it to his target. Grabbing the bottom, he lifted and threw the sofa atop another pile of trash. It was now late in the afternoon, the sun was setting, and it was about time to go home. With shaky legs, Izuku began to walk off the beach. I hate you for this. You'll thank me one day. You should do it now. You haven't noticed, have you? Questioned Venom. Izuku raised an eyebrow. Noticed what? You are a lot stronger already, Izuku. That sofa was a 4-seater, which weighed easily 350 pounds. Not to mention your body. Really? Lifting his shirt, Izuku could see the faint outline of a six-pack. Whoa, how? It's only been 2 weeks. I can purge any toxins from your body. That, plus the added benefit of my enhancements, you are becoming a proper host for me. Maybe I should thank you. If it wasn't for the fact that you made us a villain. All of the local heroes are looking for us. The only reason they haven't caught us is because you said we needed to train. Said Izuku. If you had gone out to fight crime like you wanted, we would have gotten caught. Izuku tried to argue back, but deep down, he knew Venom was right. Let's get home, I'm tired. Let's stop by and get some chocolate on the way. I'm starting to feel hungry. Izuku sighed, I'll never understand your chocolate craving. Making his way to the corner store, Izuku walked inside and headed straight towards the candy aisle. He grabbed a bar of Kit Kat, but Venom said it wasn't enough, so he grabbed another one. Still not enough, it was only until Izuku grabbed the entire box that Venom said it would do for now. Paying for the candy was a bit awkward. Who in their right mind would buy over 35 chocolate bars at a time? After paying, Izuku walked out of the store with the candy in a bag. I need to start buying these in bulk. I'll run out of money before I know it. Izuku was walking down the street when he passed an alley, and he heard something. Come on, hurry up, give us everything you got. He tried to look down the alley, but it was too dark. Hey, Venom, can you see anything? I can, there are 4 people in total. 3 guys and 1 girl, and it seems the guys are trying to mug the girl. Think we can take them? Asked Izuku. Venom laughed, is that even a question? Of course we can. Izuku smirked as Venom began to cover his body, then let's do this. Dropping the bag of candy, Izuku jumped onto the roof of the building. In the alley, 3 men surrounded a young girl with dark purple hair. Is that it? Yelled out one. No, look, she still has that. One of the men pointed at the guitar case that was on the girl's back. We could sell that thing for something. The girl pressed her back against the wall. No way. No, buzz off, I already gave you everything else. That's when one of the men activated his quirk, which turned his fingers into razor-sharp knives. Do you really think you have a choice? Hand it over or you'll lose a lot more than the guitar. Reluctantly, the girl began to hand over the guitar. That was a gift from my parents, no way I'll let it go so easily. Once they turn around, I'll use my quirk on them. The man grabbed the guitar. I knew you'd listen to reason. The 3 men began to turn their backs on the girl. Seeing her chance, the girl began to make her move. Using earphone jacks that were connected to her earlobes, she tried to stab 2 of the men in the back. But just as they were about to reach the man she turned around and threw his razor-sharp fingers at the girl. The knife stabbed into the wall beside the girl's face. That was a bad move. The girl gritted her teeth. That's when a cut opened up on her face and blood began to drip down. What should we do with her? Should we kill her like the others? Asked the other villain. As the finger knives guy was thinking, the girl saw something attach itself to the man and yank him up before he could even make it sound. The same thing happened to the second man. Now it was only down to the villain with the knives. I have no idea, you guys got anything? Looking to his sides, the villain saw that his 2 friends were gone. What the? Where did they go? Is there a hero here? Show yourself. The villain looked around frantically. Where did they go? He then turned to the girl. Where did they go? The purple-haired girl said nothing as a pair of white eyes appeared above the villain's head. We are here. The villain spun his head around only to be met by the large red tongue of Venom. The villain screamed out in horror as Venom grabbed him and threw him across the alley. Slamming against a wall, the guitar case dropped to the floor. Walking over, Venom towered over the now bleeding man. He then proceeded to grab the man by the neck. You look tasty, maybe a quick bite wouldn't hurt. Venom began to open its mouth as he did. The villain activated his quirk and slashed Venom across the face. MHA, take that, you ugly-looking piece of. However, as Venom turned his head back, the cuts on his skin soon began to close up. Nice try, but you'll have to do better than that. Opening his mouth once again, Venom bit down on the man's head with a loud crunching sound. With blood dripping down his mouth, Venom smiled as he savored his meal. Tasty. Now finished with his meal, Venom looked down to see the guitar case. Picking it up, he turned and began to walk toward the girl, who was terrified. Stopping in front of her, Venom presented the guitar. Here. The girl was shocked to say the least. Her hands trembled as she reached out and grabbed the case. Thanks. Venom nodded. Are you hurt? And no, I'm fine. Just shaken up, that's all. Venom then saw the blood running down the girl's face. The guitar, is it special? You were willing to fight those villains over it. Why? Questioned Venom. Yeah, it's special. It was a present from my mom and dad. They got it for my 10th birthday, explained the girl as she hugged the case. I see, well, you might want to get out of here. Oh, and call the police about them, once we leave advisedly. The other two are on the roof. With that, Venom turned his back on the girl. Venom was about to jump away when the girl called out to him, wait. Why did you help? You're that villain that's been all over the news, so why? Stopping, Venom turned his head. Simple, because we wanted to. We will do whatever we want, whenever we want. And no one can stop us. Who are you? Asked the girl. We are Venom, oh, and nice quirk. Jumping to the roof of the building, Venom left the girl and disappeared into the night. A short while later, the alley was covered with police and pro-heroes. Eraserhead arrived as the cops were taking the girl's statement. Are you sure that's what you saw? Asked an officer. The girl nodded. Yes, I'm sure of it. What's going on here? Asked Eraserhead. The other turned to the pro-hero. Kyoka Jairu here, says the villain that fought you. Venom, he said his name is Venom, explained Jairu. The officer blinked. Okay, Venom apparently saved this girl from some villains who tried to mug and kill her. Eraserhead couldn't believe it. That's impossible. He attacked police officers and almost bit my head off just 2 weeks ago. Well, about that, we did find the bodies of 3 individuals. 1 here, and 2 on the roof, all with their heads bitten off. Explained the officer. Turns out that those 3 were wanted for theft, murder, kidnapping, and selling drugs. We've been looking for them for months now and could never find them. That doesn't make sense. Why would he help her and kill them? Asked Eraserhead. Why do a good deed, only to fuck it up by killing? Well, sir, it's because he could. Everyone turned to Jairu. He said that he could do whatever he wanted. There was no reason why, but simply because he could. Interesting. Well, thanks for the information, Miss Jairu. We'll have one of the officers drive you home. Jairu nodded and followed an officer. Aizawa then walked down the alley and looked at the blanket over the body. In all honesty, he did us a favor killing these guys. But that still doesn't mean he could just go around killing criminals. Well, at least whoever this is has some sort of moral code. Let's hope they stick to it. Izuku's apartment. Jumping from a street light, Venom landed on the street and quickly retracted into Izuku. Now back to normal, Izuku held back the urge to throw up. What's wrong? Izuku composed himself. What's wrong? What's wrong? You just bit those guys' heads off. Yeah, what's the problem? Asked Venom. You wanted to fight crime, right? This is the way to do it, by making sure they can't do it again. But that's murder, said Izuku. You call it murder, I call it problem solving. In case you didn't hear, they were about to kill the girl. Without me, they would have. Izuku stayed silent. It's still wrong. Grow up. In the short time I've been on this planet, you humans kill each other left and right. What's the difference when I do it? Again, Izuku stayed silent. That's what I thought. We saved that girl, so take pride in that. With nothing to say, Izuku walked towards his apartment door and went straight to sleep. A few days later, it was the last week of school, so that meant class let out earlier than usual. Izuku tried to avoid Bakugo, but there was no escaping him. Bakugo cornered him as he tried to walk out of the class. Where do you think you're going, Deku? Asked Bakugo. Izuku stood in front of Bakugo. None of your business. Now get out of my way. That surprised Bakugo. Izuku never talked back to him in that tone before. Oh? Did you finally grow some balls, Deku? Think you're better than me, is that it? Izuku scoffed. Fuck off. Walking past Bakugo, Izuku bumped his shoulder, pushing him out of the way. Turning around, Bakugo grabbed Izuku's shoulder. You got a death wish. Turning around, Izuku glared at Bakugo, and no, don't. We can't, not here, not him. Bakugo raised an eyebrow. What are you talking about, Deku? Finally lost your mind? Izuku gritted his teeth. Stop, no, I don't want to do this. No, you do want to do this. You've been wanting to do this for a long time. He's hurt you, Izuku, broken you down, called you names, and you did nothing. Well, not anymore, not with me here. Izuku tried to fight against Venom, but he tried to stop him from harming Bakugo. But it was Bakugo's own actions that led to this. As Bakugo grabbed Izuku's shoulder, he let out a small explosion. Normally it would burn his clothes, but Venom hated it. That's when Izuku's eyes and teeth turned into those of Venom's. Struck with fear, Bakugo stumbled back and fell to the floor. Venom snarled, but Izuku quickly regained control over himself. I told you to stop. Why don't you listen? Izuku then turned to Bakugo. Sorry Kaken, I have to go. Izuku ran, he ran and ran, not home but somewhere he thought no one would find him, the beach. Making it to the beach, he sat down on one of the benches as sweat began to pour down his head. You've been harder to deal with these last couple of days, why? Asked Izuku. It's the hunger. Ever since I took a bite out of those men, I've been wanting more. But you don't let me. Izuku grabbed his head. I already told you that won't happen again. But I crave it. The chocolate helps, but there's nothing better than getting it from the source, explained Venom. As Izuku was arguing with Venom, someone approached him. Hey, you alright? Looking up, Izuku saw the purple-haired girl from a few days ago. She's that girl we saved. Why yeah, I'm fine, just got a headache, that's all. Said Izuku, giving the girl a half-smile. You're sweating like crazy, though. Are you sure you're alright? Asked Jiru. Izuku nodded. Yeah, my blood sugar levels just dropped. I'll be fine in a bit. That's when Jiru hummed, wait here, Why? I said I'll be fine. Said Izuku. But you aren't fine now, just wait here. I'll be back in a second. Izuku watched as Jiru ran towards a convenience store. After a minute she walked out with a bag. Reaching inside the bag, she pulled out an energy drink. Here, take it, it will help with your sugar levels. Izuku reluctantly grabbed the drink. Thanks. Opening the bottle, Jiru watched Izuku chug it down in seconds. Jiru blinked a couple of times. Whoa, I've never seen someone down it like that. Guess I was thirsty too. Thank you for the drink. I never asked your name. Said Izuku, scratching his head. Oh, Kyoka Jiru. Well, Jiru, thanks for the drink. The name is Izuku Midoriya. So, how much do I owe you for the drink? Izuku asked as he reached for his wallet. But before he could pull out any money, she shook her head. It's fine, don't worry about it. But I have to pay you back somehow. Izuku thought about it. How about I buy you something? It's fine really, I'm fine knowing that I helped someone is enough. Explained Jiru. Izuku smiled, you sound like a hero. But seriously, if I don't pay you back, I'll feel bad. How about I buy you something? How does takoyaki sound? There's a little shop not that far from here. Jiru looked at Izuku. She could tell by the look on his face that he wasn't going to let it go. Thanks, but it's... However, before Jiru could say anything else, her stomach began to growl. Jiru blushed and Izuku tried to hide his snickers. Your stomach is saying otherwise, come on, let's go. The two then walked down the street until they eventually came upon the shop. Izuku ordered two. After paying and grabbing their food, they walked over to a bench. They each took a bite of their food. Wow, this is really good, said Jiru. I know, right? Not that many know about this little shop. I found it here while I was training, explained Izuku. Training? Training for what? Asked Jiru. Izuku stopped. Oh, you know, I just want to keep myself healthy. I go down to the beach that's filled with trash and clean it up. Wait, at that landfill? You clean that? Asked Jiru, surprised. Izuku nodded, yeah, it helps build muscle and endurance. She didn't want to admit it, but Jairu found herself looking at Izuku's shirt and noticed it was a bit tight. That's impressive, all that to improve your quirk. It must be pretty cool if you want to train it. Jairu looked over at Izuku as she took a bite of her food, and she immediately knew she had messed up. Izuku rubbed the back of his head. I don't have a quirk. Jairu's eyes widened, sorry, I didn't mean to. However, Izuku shook his head, it's fine, you didn't know. Besides, I don't mind it anymore. The two then sat in silence for a while. Come on, Izuku, you just made this awkward. I know. But this is my first time talking to a girl. What am I supposed to do? Think of something, anything. Izuku took a deep breath. So, what's your quirk? Really? That's the best you can come up with? It is. Wow, that was just pathetic. That coming from an alien blob, I panicked all right. Now shut up. It's a little obvious, but you see these earphone jacks, I can use them to plug them into walls and other stuff to hear things others can't, or channel my heartbeat through them for attacks. Oh, and I can extend them for a longer range. My hearing is also better than most, too, explained Jairu as she wiggled her jacks around. That's cool, so your quirk is sound-based. Izuku then felt Venom squirm around. What the hell was that? It's nothing, don't worry about it. Izuku ignored Venom, so are you planning to be a hero or something? Jairu nodded, yeah, I'm applying for the hero course at UA. With that quirk, I'm sure you'll get in, said Izuku. You think so? Asked Jairu. Izuku nodded, of course. You'd be perfect for rescue operations. Jairu played with her earphone jacks, I guess I never thought of it like that. Thanks, Midoriya. Izuku blushed slightly, and no problem. After finishing their food, the two sat around talking about school and just got to know each other a bit more. Izuku, however, was surprised, he was actually talking to a girl. Jairu was also surprised that she found talking to Izuku so easy. After about an hour and a half of talking, Jairu got a text message. Looking at her phone, her eyes widened. Oh crap, it's my dad. Sorry about this, Midoriya, but I have to go. The two stood up from the bench. It's fine, well, it was nice meeting you, Jairu. Why are you saying that like it's the last time we'll see each other? Asked Jairu. Izuku was surprised to say the least. You still want to hang out? Jairu nodded, yeah, I don't know why, but you are easy to talk to. Here, give me your phone. Izuku quickly reached into his pocket and handed over his phone. Jairu fumbled around and then handed Izuku back his phone. There you go. Looking down at the phone, Izuku noticed that he had a new contact. I'll text you later. Thanks for the food, bye. With that, Jairu ran towards the train station. Izuku stood there, shocked. Nice, you got a girl's number, said Venom. Why yeah, well, I guess today wasn't so bad, said Izuku as he walked back home. You are welcome. For what? Asked Izuku. For stopping you from making a fool out of yourself. Once you saw the girl, your heart rate shot up, but I calmed it down. So you are welcome. I didn't need your help with that. I could have talked to her without your help, said Izuku. Right, with your track record. But I do find it strange, though, during your conversation, you began to produce more oxytocin. What's oxytocin? Asked Izuku. It's a hormone your body produces, it's also called the love hormone. Do you like this girl, Izuku? Asked Venom. Izuku turned red, what? I just met her, are you crazy? It was just a question, no need to yell. Composing himself, Izuku took a deep breath. I wouldn't say I like her, but she did seem cute. Doesn't matter, hey, I've been thinking, let's go out and look for some villains to beat up. That sounds like a good idea. Will I get to eat someone? Asked Venom. No, now stop asking, said Izuku, slightly annoyed. However, Venom would get what he wanted. He always did. Later that night, making sure his mother was asleep, Izuku opened the window to his room. "Alright, let's do this." Jumping from the window, Izuku began to fall. As he fell, Venom began to appear, now fully covering him. Using his version of Eraserhead's capture weapons, Venom swung from building to building. Making it to the downtown district, Venom stopped atop of a building. "I didn't get to see it last time, but this city is quite beautiful. The view never gets old, does it? You should see the stars out in the mountains. It's even better than here. Maybe one day we'll go," said Izuku. As Venom admired the scenery, the sound of car screeching was heard. Looking down, Venom saw an out-of-control car avoid people. "Should we step in?" asked Venom. "Of course. Come, let's go help before anyone gets hurt." Letting out a roar, Venom jumped from the roof of the building. Down below, the heroes were trying their best to catch up to the runaway car. "We need a speedster. There's no way we'll catch up to them," yelled out one of the heroes. "No time. By the time they get here, that car would have crashed into a wall. We need to stop it now," ordered another hero. However, as the two were chasing, something shot past them. What the hell was that? The man inside the car was desperately trying to avoid the pedestrians, out of the way. But he knew it was only a matter of time before he would either hit a wall or a person. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Heading towards the direction of a store, the man braced for impact. He felt the car stop suddenly, but no crash. Opening his eyes, he was surprised to see the ground. What's going on? That's when the car began to lower. The man's eyes widened as standing in front of the car was Venom. "I got you. Turn off the car." Setting the car down, Venom turned to the man. "Are you hurt?" The man shook his head. "Good, well, see you later." Just like that, Venom once again jumped away from the scene. The heroes that were chasing them were close enough to see that it was Venom, but he left before they could ask him any questions. "See, that wasn't so bad. Helping people and all," said Izuku as Venom swung from building to building. "I would rather eat someone's head." However, as Venom was looking for someone else to help, he was suddenly hit in the face, which sent him crashing down to the ground. "What the hell was that?" yelled out Venom as he picked himself up. That's when 3 people landed around him. "So the report was right," said Midnight. "So this is Venom. He's one ugly-looking guy," said Present Mike. "That's a bit harsh," thought both Izuku and Venom. "Not now, you two. Focus on him, we won't let him get away," said Eraserhead as he readied his capture weapon. Venom looked around. "We would advise you to leave." "Sorry, not our style. We can't let a villain like you run wild," said Midnight. "We can do whatever we want," said Venom. "Not anymore." "Midnight, knock him out," ordered Eraserhead. Midnight then reached for her costume and ripped a piece off, allowing a purple gas to escape. The gas hit Venom, causing him to screech. "What is this?" That's when Izuku noticed who these heroes were. "Venom, we need to get out of here. That's Midnight, she can put anyone to sleep with her gas, and we just got hit with it." That's when the effects of Midnight's quirk began to take effect. Venom began to feel sleepy. The strength in his legs began to falter as the gas coursed through Izuku's body. Falling to his knees, it looked as if the 3 heroes had done it. "Good, now let's restrain him." But just as they were moving in, Venom slammed his massive fist into the ground. The 3 heroes watched as Venom began to throw up what appeared to be green liquid. Standing up, Venom pointed at Midnight. "You just made the biggest mistake of your life." Faster than Midnight could react, Venom launched himself at her and grabbed her by the neck. Lifting her off the ground, Venom roared. Terror filled the hero's face as Venom's tongue slid across her face. "Mike, use your quirk," ordered Eraserhead. "I can't, I'll hit Midnight." "We need to separate them first," said Present Mike. With no other option, Eraserhead jumped into the air. Using his capture weapon, Eraserhead managed to wrap it around Midnight and yank her out of the way. "Now Mike, do it now." Present Mike smiled. "Finally, time to crank up the music." "Ya-ya-wah." Venom turned only to be hit by a massive sound attack. Screeching in pain, Venom covered his ears. Falling to his knees, the black goo surrounding Izuku began to peel off, exposing him. Eraserhead's eyes widened. "Stop, Mike." Turning off his quirk, the sound waves stopped hitting Izuku. "It's a kid?" asked Midnight. "Seems that way." "Hey, kid, you alright?" asked Eraserhead as he approached the boy. With his back turned to the heroes, Izuku began to mutter as he looked at his arms. "No, where did you go? Come on, you can't do this, not now. I need you, without you, I have nothing." Present Mike was the first to reach Izuku. He tried to reach out to console the kid. "Hey, it's okay, we are here to help." But that's when something appeared from Izuku's back and attached itself to Mick's neck. Izuku began to laugh. "I knew you wouldn't leave us." It started as a small black smudge, but soon Venom began to cover Izuku's back before appearing and covering his entire body once again. Turning around, Venom had his hand around Mick's neck. "Of course, we will never leave you. We are one, we are Venom." Tightening his grip, Venom crushed Present Mick's windpipe and then tossed him aside. Venom then focused on Midnight. Throwing his arm forward, a large black blob extended out and hit Midnight, sending her flying towards a wall. Midnight hit the wall with so much force that she was knocked out as a result. "You bastard," yelled out Eraserhead as he pulled out his knife and stabbed Venom in the chest. Venom simply looked down at the knife and pulled it out. "I am possible, what are you?" Raising the knife, Venom took a bite out of the metal before eating the rest. "Your worst nightmare." Transforming his hand into a giant spike, Venom stabbed Eraserhead in the shoulder. With blood gushing down the wound, Venom pulled out the spike. "Let that be a warning, leave us alone. Next time we won't be so merciful." Wait. Let the boy go, you have him under your control, right? "Let him go and we'll leave you alone," said Eraserhead. Venom didn't even turn around. "The boy chose this. We became one that people won't ignore any longer." "One that people won't ignore? What is he talking about?" thought Eraserhead. "Is this about revenge? This isn't the way, kid, you can find another path." "It's not about revenge, we have a mission to accomplish, and we are going to do it. Follow us, and you die. The boy doesn't wish to kill, but we will do what we must to survive." With that, Venom jumped into the sky and disappeared into the darkness. With the threat gone, Eraserhead went to check on Present Mike. "Good, he's still breathing, but we need to get him to a hospital soon." With his good arm, Eraserhead touched his communication device in his ear. "All Might, do you copy? We are down and need help." Within seconds All Might appeared. "Don't worry, hero friends, for I am here," he said with pride. But his pride soon turned to shock when he saw his injured friends. What happened here? Eraserhead managed to use a piece of clothing to put pressure on his wound. Venom happened. But forget that, Mike needs a hospital. His windpipe was crushed. Midnight is over there, knocked out but alive. Take them first, I'll be fine here. All Might nodded. "I'll be right back." With the first attempt at catching Venom a complete failure, the heroes went back to the drawing board. But this time they found out something about this new villain. They found a way to hurt it. Sneaking back into his room, Izuku sat on the edge of his bed. "Did they see me?" "No, they didn't see your face." "Count us lucky that they didn't," said Venom, appearing in front of Izuku. "Lucky, huh? You call almost killing 3 pro heroes lucky? This night couldn't have gone any worse," said Izuku, laying down on the bed. "It could have gone worse. We could have killed them, or you could have lost us. And we both know you don't want that. Without us, you are nothing," explained Venom. "Not helping. But you're right, for a second I thought I lost you. In that moment I felt so useless, so weak, but then you came back. I could feel the power coming back to me, it felt amazing," said Izuku as he reached for his phone. He noticed that he had a new message. Clicking on the notification, he saw that it was Jiru. Maybe tonight wasn't that bad. Chapter 3, Wanted. Aizawa was pissed off. Looking through the glass of a hospital room, he saw his best friends Midnight and Present Mike laying there in hospital beds. A whole week had gone by and he still blamed one person. Damn you, Venom. We'll find him, Aizawa, said a small voice. Looking down, Aizawa saw Nizu walking to him along with All Might. I sure hope so, said Aizawa. Can you tell us anything about this Venom guy? Asked All Might. For starters, the person underneath was a boy, not more than 14 years old, explained Aizawa. Nizu was surprised, so young, and with such a dangerous power. Aizawa nodded. That's not all, this power, it's different somehow. At first, I thought the boy was under someone's control, but it turns out he's not. What do you mean? Asked All Might. The black suit around him, it's almost as if it's sentient. Whatever it is, it has attached itself to the kid, said Aizawa. When Mike hit him with his sound blast, it temporarily debonded, and it looked like it hurt him. Nizu hummed, so sound is its weakness? That could be difficult to exploit, but we'll find a way. Anything else you can tell us about the boy? He did say something before he mopped the floor with us. It seemed as if the kid thought he had lost the suit and began to panic. I didn't hear much, but he said something about being useless without it, said Aizawa. Useless? But no one is useless. Why would he think that way? Asked Nizu. Regardless, All Might, with the others down, I'm calling on you to stop him. All Might nodded. Leave it to me. I'll bring in the boy. I'm going with you. Once Recovery Girl heals my shoulder, I'll join you. She should be here in the afternoon, said Aizawa as he raised his bandaged arm. Very well, I in the meantime will see if any other heroes can help, said Nizu. With Izuku was getting stronger, and he started to notice. His shirts fit a bit tighter, especially around his arms, and he also noticed that he had grown a bit taller. Hey Venom, so what exactly are you? You're an alien, right? Izuku asked as he did push-ups. You can call us that, but in my eyes, you are the alien, responded Venom. So I guess we aren't alone in this universe. Getting up, Izuku took off his shirt and wiped away the sweat. Man, 200 push-ups is no joke. But I can't argue with the results. It is for our benefit. The stronger you become, the stronger I become. Izuku rolled his eyes. Suddenly, Venom sensed someone coming. Get ready, someone is coming. Izuku's head turned towards the land. He readied himself for whoever this was. Is it a hero? Asked Izuku. I don't know, be on your guard, ordered Venom. Standing firm, Izuku put his fists out, and that's when the person turned the corner. Man, what is up with all this trash? Why do people do this? Said Jiro. Wait, Jiro? What are you doing here? Asked Izuku. Jiro dusted herself off. So you are here. I figured since you told me you trained here, I'd come to see. That's when Jiro looked up to see Izuku shirtless. Turning red, Jiro covered her eyes. Why are you naked? Izuku relaxed, seeing it was someone he knew. I'm not naked, I have pants on, argued Izuku. Just put your shirt back on, said Jiro, still not looking at Izuku. Sighing, Izuku grabbed his shirt and began to put it on. Jiro could hear him rustling around, and through her hand she got a quick peek. Whoa, he's got a nice body. He looks small, but he has a lot of muscle. That's when Jiro noticed that she was staring and quickly shut her eyes. Come on, Kyoka. You barely know the guy, and you're staring. Alright, happy now? Asked Izuku. Jiro removed her hands to see that Izuku now had on a shirt. Better. So anyway, you really are cleaning/training here. I thought you were joking, said Jiro as she looked around and noticed that she was in a large, cleaned area that went down to the water. Izuku nodded. Yeah, I'm still nowhere done though. So what's up? I thought we had plans for tomorrow? During the week of the incident with the heroes, Izuku and Jiro had gotten closer. They weren't close, but they were friends. The two talked for hours on the phone, which pissed off Venom. I know, I was in the area and wanted to see if you were training here. Which I can see you are, said Jiro. I'm hurt, Jiro. You think I'd lie to you? Asked Izuku as he faked crying. Jiro rolled her eyes. Oh, shut up. Look, since I'm here, want to hit up the mall? I heard they are having a special on some merchandise from a band I like. Sure, let me just wash off this sweat and change. Give me 5 minutes, I'll be right back. Jiro nodded. Izuku went over to the small building on the nicer beach and used the shower room. Conveniently, there was also a locker room, so Izuku threw his bag along with his dirty clothes in it to pick up later. 5 minutes later, Izuku got out all changed and ready to go. He had on a black shirt, blue jeans, and his hair was a mess. Jiro looked at Izuku and snickered. What? Izuku asked, confused. It's your hair, you look like a damp piece of seaweed, said Jiro, holding back the urge to burst out laughing. Oh, that's the perfect nickname for you. Please don't, said Izuku. Jiro smirked. Nope. Too late, let's go seaweed. I swear, you secretly hate me, don't you? Asked Izuku. Nah, you're a cool dude. Enough of that, let's go. The two then walked towards the station. After a few stops, the two got off and walked towards the mall. The two walked side by side, talking about school until they reached the store Jiro was talking about. Once inside, Izuku was surprised to see so many guitars. Whoa. First time in this store? Asked Jiro. Izuku nodded. Yeah, I've always walked by it but never went inside. I didn't know there were so many types. Yeah, there are 3 main ones. You got your classical, acoustic, and electric. And those branch out into their sub-varieties. Different body shape, string, and sound. Explained Jiro. Izuku nodded. So which ones do you know how to play? Jiro rubbed the back of her head shyly. I actually know them all. My parents are musicians, so they have taught me since I was little. Not to mention the others. Izuku was surprised. Others? Okay, now you're just showing off. I can barely play the recorder, but I do perform a mean hot cross buns. Jiro laughed. I'd like to see that. I'd rather see you play, though. Maybe sometime you can show me? Asked Izuku. Sure, heck, I'll even show you how to play. That is, if you're up for it? Asked Jiro with a smug look on her face. Izuku raised an eyebrow. Is that a challenge, Jiro? 'Cause I never back away from a challenge. Let's let your actions do the talking for you. Get a guitar and I'll teach you, said Jiro. Izuku, there was one of those things at the beach, said Venom. There was? Huh, guess I missed it. I'll go get it later. Izuku and Jiro would spend the better part of that afternoon walking around the mall. After a while, the two got hungry and went to the food court to eat. Izuku ordered a hamburger, and Jiro got some ramen. As the two waited for their food, they sat down at some tables. So how's the prep work for you, eh? Asked Izuku. Fine, I guess. The entrance exam is in a few days, so there's that. I'm still a bit nervous. I'm confident in most things, but this is different. There's going to be a lot of people trying to get in, said Jiro, sighing. You'll do just fine, trust me. I've known you for a bit now, and I can already tell you won't go down without a fight. Jiro smiled at Izuku's comment. Thanks, Midoriya, and yeah, you're right. I'll kick everyone's ass in the entrance exam. Izuku liked seeing Jiro happy. However, their happiness would quickly turn into shock when out of nowhere the ground began to shake violently. Izuku and Jiro held onto the table to keep themselves from falling. What's going on? An earthquake? Asked Jiro. Izuku looked around and noticed people running past the store. The shaking stopped. We should get out of here, that wasn't an earthquake. Something or someone caused this, and I'm not going to stick around to find out. The two then ran out of the store and headed towards the exit, but as they were just about to leave, they heard the clicking of guns. Appearing in front of them, two men with assault rifles appeared. Where do you guys think you're going? The mall doesn't close for another couple of hours, stick around and follow us, said one of the men. Izuku narrowed his eyes. Should I eat their brains? Asked Venom. No, if we do anything right now, they might hurt Jiro. For now, let's do what they want, you'll get your chance, thought Izuku as he put up his hands. Jiro did the same. Good, now head towards the food court. The boss is waiting for us. Izuku and Jiro were then escorted to the food court, where they found several dozen people and about 10 men with guns pointed at them. Shoving the weapon into Izuku's back, the two were forced to sit on the ground in a row near the wall. You alright, Jiro? Asked Izuku. Jiro nodded. Yeah, I'm good. Who are these guys? Terrorists, most likely, and I think that guy is their boss. Izuku motioned towards the direction of a tall man, who wore black pants, a sleeveless shirt, and had markings on his arms that resembled ripples. The boss looked at the captive people. Good, now half of you guard the entrances. The rest of you stay here. If anyone moves, kill them. The hostages gasped as they heard the last part. Within 10 minutes the police and heroes had the entire mall surrounded and were now waiting for the demands. Thanks to Jiro's enhanced hearing, she could hear everything and was repeating it to Izuku. It seems like they are part of some weird organization, something about a mythological creature, the one with the 3 heads. Izuku thought about it. A hydra? What are their demands? Jiro nodded. Yeah, that one. They want to send a message. That's when Jiro heard something that shocked her. Jiro? What is it? What did they say? Asked Izuku. Jiro turned to Izuku. They're going to start shooting every third person. Izuku's eyes widened, and just as Jiro said that, the men began to grab every third person. Men, women, and children were all selected. As the minions were coming down the line, both Izuku and Venom noticed something. Izuku, the count. I know. Izuku then turned to Jiro. Do you trust me? Jiro raised an eyebrow. Huh? Now is not the time for this, Midoriya. Do you trust me? Asked Izuku once again. Jiro thought about it before ultimately nodding. Yes. Good, sorry about this. Izuku then grabbed Jiro and switched spots with her. Before Jiro could say anything, one of the men pointed their gun at Izuku. Get up, and don't try anything stupid, ordered the man. Izuku stood up. Walk with the others. Jiro was shocked. Midoriya, wait. Jiro tried to grab Izuku, but as she did, the minion hit her with the butt of his rifle, knocking her back down to the floor. The minion then pointed his rifle to Jiro's head. Stay down, bitch, unless you want to die right here. That's when Izuku stepped in between the two. Hey, you already got me, don't touch her. Blood ran down Jiro's face. Midoriya, you can't. It's going to be fine, trust me. I still need those guitar lessons. With that, Izuku was taken away. Jiro watched in horror. Izuku, along with the others chosen, were taken into a storage room where they were lined up against a wall by 2 men. The room was small and the only source of light was a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling. Boss wants us back, so let's get this done. Both men then readied their weapons. Venom, you see the electrical outlet by my feet. Can you get inside and take out the lights? Easy. So, will I get to eat these guys? Asked Venom. Izuku smirked. Oh yeah. The men then pointed their guns at the first person in line. For our dreams, he yelled out. However, just as he was about to squeeze the trigger, the light bulb suddenly went black before breaking. The men looked up. Who turned out the lights? One of them asked. Go now, run, ordered a voice through the blackness. The hostages all quickly scampered towards the door, bursting through the door, and light from the outside shone through. That's when the men saw him. Towering above them was Venom. "What the hell is that thing?" Struck with fear, both men began to open fire. The bullets hit Venom in the chest, but did nothing. After emptying their guns, Venom looked down at his torso, which was riddled with holes. That tickled. Flexing, Venom fixed all the damage on his chest. The men tried to scream, only to have their mouths covered by black goo. "I don't like it when my food screams. I can't savor the flavors then." With tears running down their faces and muffled screams, the men could do nothing as Venom opened its mouth, revealing its razor-sharp teeth. Loud crunching noises were heard as Venom bit the heads off the men clean off and began to feast on their organs. "Now this is a good appetizer. Let's get you the main course then," said Izuku. With blood dripping down its claws, Venom smiled. "It's lunch time." Outside in the food court, Jiro flinched when she heard the sound of gunfire. And no, Midoriya. Outside the mall, police and heroes were on edge, and the demands of the leader were outrageous. "How many hostages are we dealing with?" Eraserhead asked, standing around a large table that had a map of the mall. "With the security cameras down we can't be sure, but at least a couple dozen, maybe more," said the SWAT commander. "Quirks?" asked All Might. "Unknown. Reports say that the entire mall shook before the men took it over. We might be dealing with some sort of earthquake quirk. Luckily, we came up with a plan. The main entrances are guarded, but our radar suggests that the entrances on the roof are unguarded. Here and here. So what's the plan? I can't exactly fit into a vent, you know," said All Might. "We have something for you. While we get in through the roof, you All Might will." However, as the commander was explaining his plan, another officer walked in. "What do you want? Can't you see we are in the middle of a meeting?" The officer was out of breath and could barely get the words out. "Shots fired. Shots have been fired inside the mall. Casualties likely." "Shit, alright, forget the plan. We are switching to search and destroy. Go in and take out any assailant you see. Our first priority is the civilians, heroes. Once we are inside, make your way towards them. They are locked in the food court, we'll deal with the rest," said the commander. Everyone nodded. "Let's get to work then." All Might was the first one to run inside. With his fist pulled back, he knocked down the door to the mall. "Go on ahead, All Might, we'll be right behind you," yelled out Aizawa. All Might nodded. "Right. Be safe." Crouching down, All Might took off, leaving the rest behind. Zigzagging his way through the mall, he eventually found the hostages that Venom freed running away from the food court. "Is everyone alright?" "We are fine, but the others?" "They have a lot more in the food court," said one of the hostages. Within seconds, All Might made it to the food court, where he found something that shocked him. Standing in front of all the hostages was Venom and several dead men with guns. "Get away from them." Texas Smash. Turning around, Venom was met by All Might's massive fist. The hit was so hard that it sent Venom across the food court and into one of the stores. "Wait, All Might, he was helping us." "That's the real villain," pointed out Jiro. All Might stopped. "What? He was helping you? But he's a villain." All of the hostages agreed. "She's right. Venom was helping us, he even saved us from getting shot." Now, All Might was even more confused. "Man, you hit hard, next time try talking first." Looking up, All Might saw Venom crawling on the ceiling. Dropping down, he stared at the number one hero. "What is your goal here, Venom?" asked All Might. Venom smiled. "Easy, hero, I'm not here to fight you. I was just caught up in this. These guys took some hostages and I got rid of them. Well, all for that guy, he's the boss. I was about to take him down when you rudely interrupted me. Now tell me, do you really want to fight both of us, or save these people?" All Might narrowed his eyes. "I want to save these people." Good, then let's get rid of him. The two then turned towards the villain. Why, you killed my men, ruined my plan. The villain looked at Venom with rage in his eyes. You took everything from me. Venom pointed at the villain. Tough luck, now stay there while I eat you. Venom then ran towards the villain. All Might tried to stop him, but it was already too late. Clenching his fist, the markings around the villain's arm began to glow with power. Slamming his fists onto the floor, a massive shockwave shook the entire mall once again. The ground around the villain began to protrude outward, sending pieces of the very earth itself hurtling towards Venom. Venom easily punched the small rocks, but as he was punching the small ones, a rock the size of a large truck came in and hit Venom across the face. All Might shielded the civilians from the pieces that Venom missed. Venom, don't just go rushing in like that. You're putting everyone in danger. Venom jumped back. Damn it, what do you suggest we do then? Looking around, All Might noticed that the villain's power was coming from his arms. He then looked to his right and noticed a fire extinguisher. Picking it up, he tossed it to Venom. Throw this at him. Confused, Venom looked at the extinguisher. Just do it. Grabbing it like a football, Venom threw it right at the villain. At the same time, All Might pulled back his fist. Detroit Smash. Throwing his fist forward, All Might created a large gust of wind. The wind pressure was so strong that once it hit the extinguisher, it popped, causing white smoke to fill the area. The villain stopped his quirk. What is this? Do it now, Venom! Yelled out All Might. Without hesitation, Venom ran through the smoke. The villain looked around frantically. Where are you? That's when Venom dropped from the ceiling in front of the villain. Here. The markings on the villain began to glow. He tried to reach out to touch Venom, but Venom grabbed his arms and crushed the bones. Pieces of bone popped out of his skin as the villain fell to the floor, screaming out in agony. As the smoke cleared, All Might saw Venom standing over the villain. You didn't kill him, good. We need him alive to answer questions. I would have killed him, but there's been enough of that already. I've had my fill, said Venom, turning away. Well, that's all you'll get from me. Remember, this was a one-time thing, don't expect us to help you again. The next time we meet, you'll end up like him. As Venom was walking away, he felt someone grab his shoulder. Sorry, Venom, but you can't leave. You have your crimes to pay for. You may have helped me now, but that doesn't excuse your actions. Venom turned his head. Do you want to do this, hero? All Might nodded. I am a hero, I will do what I must. Venom smirked, and so will we. Turning around fast, Venom punched All Might across the face, sending him flying across the food court. Slamming against a pillar, All Might held his jaw. That hurt? Stay down, All Might, we don't want to hurt you. But we will if we must, threatened Venom. All Might stood up slowly. It's not a matter of if, but want. One way or another, you are coming with me. And I already know your weakness. Shit, Venom, look out, he's going to throw a punch. Warned Izuku. Venom jumped back to avoid the hit, but his eyes widened when he saw that All Might didn't clench his fist. That's when Izuku put 2 and 2 together, and oh. If he does that inside, the entire mall will come crumbling down. Don't do it. You'll bring this whole place down, yelled out Venom. But it was already too late. The number 1 hero brought his hands together. Thunder, clap. Clapping his hands together, All Might created a massive shock wave of pure sound. The sound wave hit Venom dead on, and the symbiote screeched in pain as it began to peel off of Izuku. The attack was effective in taking down Venom, but it also kicked up a lot of dust. Falling to his knees, Izuku still had some of the symbiote on him, but it was just barely strings. Damn it! It's over, Venom, your reign of terror ends now. Where are you? Yelled All Might through the smoke. As the hero walked through the smoke, he heard cracking coming from the ceiling. Looking up, he noticed that and recognized that he just messed up. Oh no, that's what Venom meant. Turning around, All Might saw the screaming hostages running for their lives as the ceiling began to come crashing down around them. Rushing into action, All Might grabbed as many people as he could. However, he still couldn't get them all. He had to drop the others off and come back for more. Jiro was one of the people who was running, but as she was running she heard the sound of someone falling. Looking back she noticed that it was a small child. Turning around, Jiro grabbed the child with her earphone jack. "It's fine, I got you." With the child now in her arms, Jiro ran towards the exit as debris fell around her. However, just as she was about to be in the clear, a giant piece of the ceiling came crashing down. Jiro's eyes widened as she looked up and saw the piece come down. "We are going to get crushed. No, I won't let this kid die like this." With all the strength she had, Jiro tossed the child forward just as the piece fell on top of her. Jiro expected to feel a lot of pain, but to her surprise, she didn't. Opening her eyes, Jiro was surprised to see someone standing in front of her. That was brave of you." Jiro could only see the person's back, but noticed black strings on their body. Grunting, the person lifted and threw the large ceiling piece. That voice, it couldn't be right, she questioned as the person turned around. Thanks to the smoke she couldn't see their face but saw a gleam of green in their eyes. "Now go, grab the kid and go, it's not safe for you here." Without saying a word, Jiro nodded and got to safety. Izuku watched as Jiro left. "You there, Venom?" That was loud. "We can't take another hit like that. If we do, we'll die. I suggest we leave." "I agree, but we can't just leave unscratched. We have to make it seem like we were injured somehow," argued Izuku. Venom thought about it. "I have an idea, but it's going to hurt." "Don't worry, I can heal you later. You up for it?" "What do you have in mind?" asked Izuku. By the end of it all, a majority of the mall was either collapsed or damaged. Heroes from all over Japan came in to help with the damage. They found people still trapped under rocks, which included Izuku, who had to make it seem that he was hurt, so Venom's bright idea was to slam a rock on Izuku's head just enough to draw blood and make it seem that he was knocked out. Izuku would be rescued a short while later. They took Izuku to where the other hostages were being treated. Once there, we awoke and had his arm and head bandaged up. "Alright, you should be all healed up in a few days. Your mother has already been contacted. Please wait for her here," instructed one of the paramedics. Izuku nodded as they put his arm in a sling. Getting up, he began to look around at the people being treated. "Man, those guys did a lot of damage. It could have been worse. We saved more people than we hurt. Remember that." Izuku smiled. "But you should take care of the other thing for now." Izuku raised an eyebrow. "What other thing?" That's when Venom turned Izuku's head. Oh. Looking right at him was a very angry Jiro. "Wait, Jiro, let me explain." However, before he could, Jiro wrapped him in a hug. "You idiot. Why did you switch places?" She then stabbed one of her jacks into his side. "I thought I lost you. When they took you, I heard a gunshot and I thought." Izuku smiled and wrapped his good arm around the girl. "Sorry, Jiro, I didn't mean to worry you. Can you please remove that jack, it kind of hurts." Jiro tightened her grip on Izuku. "Not yet, I just want to hear your heartbeat for a bit longer." Izuku felt his heart flutter. "You heard it right? It's still beating, I'm fine." Jiro felt her emotions calm with every beat of Izuku's heart. He was alive, he wasn't a ghost or a zombie, it was him. "Izuku, your oxytocin levels are spiking again," teased Venom. "Shut up and let me have this," growled Izuku inside his mind. After a minute, Jiro finally let go of Izuku. "Better?" Jiro nodded. "Yeah, better." "Good, so that was an eventful day, wasn't it?" asked Izuku. Jiro laughed. "Yeah, it was. Let's not do that again anytime soon." Izuku shrugged. "No promises." As the two were waiting around for their parents to show up, someone called out to Izuku, "Excuse me, young man, but can I have a word?" Izuku turned around to find Naomasa standing in front of him. "What do you need, officer?" asked Izuku. Well, we are getting everyone's statements on what happened. From what the others have told us, you, along with a few others, were taken to the back to be killed, and yet here you are. What happened? Asked Naomasa. Jiro was also curious about that. Oh, that, well, when they took us to the back room, that Venom guy showed up and saved us. Naomasa wrote that down. Really? Izuku nodded. The lights went out, and out of nowhere, Venom appeared and killed the men. We are lucky he showed up. If he had shown up even a second later, we would have died. I see. I assume you didn't get a good look at who it was? Naomasa then activated his quirk. No, it was too dark, responded Izuku. Half-truth. Naomasa then closed his notebook. Thank you for your testimony. If we need anything else, we will contact you. Izuku nodded. Anytime. How long until your arm heals? Asked Jiro. The medic said it should be fine in a few days, but I get the feeling it will be fine sooner than that. Explained Izuku. Oh, that's good. I actually wanted to ask you something. Said Jiro as she nervously played with her earphone jacks. Oh, sure, what's up? Asked Izuku. Are you? However, before Jiro could finish the question, someone called out to her. Kyoka. My baby girl, where are you? Turning around, Jiro looked through the crowd to see her parents. I should go, those are my parents. Said Jiro. Izuku nodded. I get it. Now go, they must be worried sick. I'll call you tomorrow, alright? Jiro was about to turn and leave when she stopped. Oh right, I almost forgot. Leaning in, Jiro planted a kiss on Izuku's cheek. Izuku blushed. Jiro. That's when one of her earphone jacks stopped in front of Izuku's face. Don't say a word. That was for saving me. With her head down, Jiro turned around and ran towards her parents. Izuku couldn't see it, but her face was red as well. Jiro's heart was beating out of her chest. What the hell did I just do? He must think I'm weird now. I hope I didn't mess up by doing that. Minutes later, Inko would show up and take Izuku home. Inko hugged her son and cried when she knew that he was alright. Sorry, I made you worried, Mom. It's fine, dear, the important part is that you're safe. Now come on, let's go home. The car ride was slow and it gave Izuku time to reflect on today's events. Izuku felt good helping people and wanted to do it more often. However, Venom only craved one thing, the taste of flesh once again. Soon Izuku would have to choose a path, and for everyone's sake, he better choose right. Okay, sadly chapter is over, and large thanks to R. Smalls for this amazing story. If you enjoyed it, just leave a like and subscribe with a post notification, so when the chapter is ready, you will be notified. Okay, see you next one, bye.